In an ideal world, horses would run free in open fields. What you're seeing right now is exactly the opposite of that. These are Premarin mares, horses used to make hormone replacement drugs for menopausal women.
Premarin is a true natural. Definition of natural, it comes from plant or animal source. Premarin comes straight for a horse, so it's very natural for a horse, not necessarily natural for a person.
Dr. Michael Goodman is a gynecologist who specializes in perimenopausal medicine. He says he hasn't written a prescription for Premarin in about 15 years.
There's a lot better things available, a lot more effective.
Premarin is derived from pregnant mare's urine, or PMU. PMU farms are located in Canada. Horses are confined in narrow stalls and strapped to urine collection devices for about half of their 11-month pregnancy. The foals produced in this industry year after year face an uncertain fate. Often slaughter is the only option in an already saturated horse market.
Situated in Australia's Red Centre near Uluru is Australia's largest camel tour operator, Uluru Camel Tours. The camels are captured from the wild by water traps set up by the tour operator. The camels are corralled with methods prohibited by the Code of Practice. Camels may be injured in the process and arrive at the farm bruised and highly stressed. This camel appears to have suffered a broken jaw. This calf was crushed in a gate.
Know where you're from. Just go away.
Unsere Blutstuten hier leiden für die Schweinezucht im europäischen Ausland.
Der PMSG-Einsatz in der Ferkelproduktion dient in der Regel zur Arbeitserleichterung und
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel here. It's me here, Comrade Lavender here, and today I'm back with another anti-capitalism deep dive YouTube video topic. Today I'm going to be doing the pure evil, the big pharma exploiting mares and foals and the pharmaceutical industry and exploiting animals and the camel farming tourism industry sector. You know, deep dive, capitalism, animal abuse, capitalism atrocities, exploitation, true crime, etc. All my YouTube videos that relate to this topic right now, other YouTube videos I've done about other capitalism atrocities that relate to animals will be on the screen right now. If you'd like to check those videos out, they're going to be on the screen right now. So let's get started in this YouTube video topic. Animal cruelty. Pregnant mare urine. Pregnant horses are being turned into machines by a Canadian drug company which produces a natural estrogen under the brand name Premarin, commonly prescribed to alleviate symptoms of menopause in women. While the estrogen is derived from mare's urine, the horse's offspring become the fodder of the Premarin industry, with tens of thousands of young foals sent to early death and served up on Eastern and Japanese dinner tables and plates. All the more tragic because this 50-year-old drug is totally unnecessary and can be safely and economically replaced by modern synthetic substitutes. The company that produces the drug, Orcrest Organics, is in the midst of a $100 million expansion in Moldova to serve 8 million women now using Premarin and the 430,000 baby boomers on menopause threshold. The Canadian government is providing 20 million. Acres is expanding 485 pregnant max urine PMU farms to 600, according to the Acres Organics October 1992 annual report. Some 1,200 farmers have applied to be producers. How many mares are in urine produced in lines? 30,000 or 75,000 or more? How many foals are born each year? How many are destroyed to feed a growing European and Japanese market? Or Asian market? Ancrest isn't talking. The Canadian-based company that produces Premrin and contracts Canadian North Dakota farms didn't answer Friends of Animals, FOA, numerous calls. Tom Hughes, president of Canadian Farm Animal Care Trust, however, has been monitoring the urine-producing industry for nearly 25 years. Nearly 80,000 foals are produced yearly, says Hughes, which means there are even more mares on the line. About 3,000 are in North Dakota, according to Dean Lamb, a veterinarian there. Urine-catching cups, held on by harnesses, cradle the pregnant mares' urethras that catch their valuable body fluid and feed it into a hose which routes it into containers. In a small stall, the mares' lives are spent standing, strapped, and incarcerated for more than 5 months, with about 60 other horses in stench-filled barns. They're forced to foal each year to keep the urine production going. The mare stalls have concrete cement floors, and the 4.5 wide area leaves little room for movement. They are able to lie down for about half an hour each day, but the cement floor is hard without bedding. The front legs suffer from standing on the hard cement and concrete, and their exercise is ambiguous at best. Some sources interviewed by the horses are exercise 1/2 an hour a day, and some say 1.5 hour a week. What form of exercise and for how long is to each farmer. The mares are put on the line October 1st each year and taken off about March 25th. After giving birth, they are allowed to pasture with the foals, some for 5 months in the reprieve until they are again impregnated. Then October 1st, they are back on the line approximately March 25th, and the cycle continues. The average life of a mare on the line is 12 to 14 years. In the past year, the PMU mares in North Dakota have been deprived water because farmers have learned they can earn money by making the urine more concentrated. The less water consumed, the stronger the urine concentrate is. The going rate is $10.50 per gallon for higher concentrates of this versus $8.50 for weaker. The mares are receiving only half the amount of water they actually need, says a source who wants to remain anonymous. And their diet, which includes very dry hay and alfalfa, leaves them very thirsty. As a result, mares' stress level is increased, and the number of horses suffering kidney and liver diseases is on the rise. In 1992, 6 mares suffered from kidney and liver disease, says the source. In 1993, there were 60 to 70 cases, about 20% to 16 horses died. The source adds the majority of the mares on the line are in good to excellent shape. Only 5 to 10% of the approximately 2,700 North Dakota foals are sold for slaughter, according to veterinarian Dean Lamb of Bogentun. Most of the 3,000 mares on the line are valuable and registered horses. Their colts sell for about $3,500, says Lamb, for a variety of uses. In Canada, however, the majority of foals are born to die. Most of the foals from the average PMU farm will be sold purely for meat, says Hughes. These foals are sold at an average of 120 days. The foals are transported to feeding lots where they are fattened up to a profitable weight and then slaughtered. Animals Angels has released for production in factory-farmed animals. The hormone is used by farmers across the UK and Europe to increase reproduction in pigs, cows, and other female farm animals. Pregnant mare serum gonadotropin PMSG is extracted from pregnant horses in Iceland during summer at blood farms before being converted into a powder and shipped across the world. Animal welfare campaigners in Iceland visiting farms with The Guardian showed broken restraint boxes and enclosures covered in bite marks, which they claimed was a sign of anxious horses. Undercover footage from farms taken by animal welfare activist campaigners also appeared to show distressed horses being hit and struggling in restraint boxes before blows being drawn and inserted in the jugular vein. The European Commission said it was seriously concerned about the animal treatment of horses farmed for blood. Experts have also expressed concern about the amount of blood taken from horses. The pharmaceutical company LCA'S, which owns and subcontracts farms, said 5 liters of blood are taken from pregnant mares every week for 8 consecutive weeks, around 4 times the amount specified on international guidelines. Unless you live in Africa, the Middle East, or South Asia, you may not be very used to the images of camels in the countryside. You may have petted them at the petting zoo or at a tourist attraction, but you may not look at them as if they were one of the most commonly farmed animals in the world, like cows or sheep. However, camels have been farmed for millennia in many parts of the world, and they have become part of rural landscape there. In regions mentioned, camels have been exploited for many reasons. They have been farmed for their meat, milk, and wool. They've been exploited as vehicles, as work machines and commodities, and even sports tools, and gambling bets. Like many animals farmed by humans, camels have undergone a process of domestication that has changed their behavior. As such, they've been subjected to abuse for many years, suffering from ruthless exploitation and capitalist atrocities. There are 7 species of the family Camelidae: the true camels, the New World camelids, the llama, the alpaca, the guanaco, and the vina. There are 3 species of true camel being domesticated: the one-humped Dimatri, 94% of the world's camel population. They are mainly found in the Middle East, the Sahara Desert, South Asia, and now Australia, after being recently introduced there. And then there's the camel, the 2-humped Bactrian camel, 6% of the population, and they are found in Asia, including the historical region of Bactria, an area south of the Oxus River and northern mountains. Camels are well adapted to live in arid areas and cold. They can withstand long periods of time without water, thanks to several biological adaptations. They can drink once every 10 days under very hot conditions and can lose up to 30% of their body mass due to dehydration, but their red blood cells are oval rather than circular, which helps with their flow during dehydration, makes them better at withstanding optic pressures. And when camels drink, they can drink up to 40 gallons in one go. Camels rarely sweat. When camels, the vapor becomes trapped in their nostrils and reabsorbed into the body. The kidneys and intestines of camels are very efficient at reabsorbing water. Camels are social animals who live in herds, usually consisting of a dominant adult male, females, and their young. They may have been first domesticated by humans in Somalia or South Arabia sometime during the 3rd millennium BCE, while the Bactrian camel in Central Asia, Iran, around 2500 BCE. Probably the first type of exploitation domestic camels experience is being used as transportation as vehicles, pulling carts, carrying goods and people. They were extensively used traversing long trade routes like the Silk Road through harsh terrain no other animal could cope with. This means that the camel's ability to survive long periods of time without water and survive sandstorms and desert heat was pushed to the limit by forcing these animals to experience conditions beyond their comfort zone and having to carry heavy weights they were not adapted to carry. If these animals refused to obey the work, they would be punished by being beaten with sticks, including transporting goods, heavy carts, and giving rides to tourists. Handlers often push metal pegs through the camels' noses to control them, which, as the sun heats this metal, ends up burning their flesh, causing infections. The weight from the camel's back on rides and carriages can cause painful wounds. PETA investigators exposed notorious Burkwash camel market in Egypt, showing footage of horrific abuse of camels sold for meat, farm work, or used at top tourism spots. Frightening, exhausted trip to the market jammed inside lotteries. Camels are forcibly unloaded and then bought, sold, and barred. Handlers carry sticks and routinely hit camels until they're left with bloody wounds. The animals' legs are bound so they cannot move. The tourism industry also exploits these camels. A distressing video resurfaced showing a camel tethered to its mother by a muzzle being trained to a life of servitude, transporting tourists through the volcanic pathways in the Spanish Canary Islands. The other way that camels are exploited is for their milk and meat. Camel milk is a staple food in desert nomad tribes and has slowly started gaining popularity in the West. Currently, the camel milk industry is said to be worth over $10 billion annually. In the United States, camel milk is now available in many grocery stores, and companies have successfully introduced commercial camel farming in the United States and UK, and a camel farm in Warwickshire, and just like cows in the dairy industry, female camels in the camel milk industry will be forcibly impregnated to continue producing milk, and when their production goes down, they will be culled and sent to slaughter. The milking machine in some farms of Tuscany, Saudi Arabia, and United Arab Emirates. They've now been followed by farms in Australia, Europe, and the United States. The world's first large-scale camel dairy farm was in the Emirates industry for camel milk products. That means more and more camels are being kept in intensive factory farm-like conditions and environments with less space to move and more risk of zoonotic diseases. Camels suffer from a range of diseases, some of which are zoonotic, the most notorious being Mars CoV, caused by one of the types of coronaviruses. Approximately 3.3 million camels are slaughtered each year for meat worldwide. The fat hump is used to make kai, preserved meat of mutton, beef, or camel. Camel meat is mainly eaten in Eritrea, Somalia, Djibouti, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Syria, Libya, Sudan, Ethiopia, Kazakhstan, and other Arab regions. Camel blood is also consumed in northern Kenya. Australia has exported camel meat to the Middle East and also to Europe and the United States. In addition to farming camels for meat and milk, the camels are also farmed for their skin and wool or leather. Camel wool is a major export to Mongolia. Raw or semi-processed camel wool is also produced in Tibet, Afghanistan, Iran, Russia, and China. Camel hair jackets became fashionable among polo players in Europe.